Hello there, it's Jay here from Jay's Vintage Junk, and today let us see if we can get this to play. I'm not going to fully restore this or anything in the I'm not going to fully restore this or anything in this video, but I would really like to see, like we did with the Roberts, if I can actually just at least get it to play, just basically an assessment on it, see exactly what work it's going to need. I'm not going to say we're going to get the record player playing in this video. I'd just like to see if I can perhaps get the radio to work on it, perhaps see the turntable go around, see if we have got any life in that cartridge, but I very much doubt it. I think that cartridge is pretty well goosed, to be honest, but we can see if we get any output from it at all. So, without further ado, we obviously know from the previous video that the volume control there is missing, and it is actually rattling around inside the case. That's where we found it when we started and popped it back in there so it didn't get lost. So, we know that it's definitely suffered some... oh yeah, there it is. We know it's definitely suffered some trauma in the past for that to happen. And I mean, it is broken as well. The stop on it seems to be broken, so it just spins all the way around. Not to worry though. Let's get inside this thing and actually see what we've got to work with. Right. Well, first thing I spot is two rather rusty screws on the back there, and some more rusty screws under here where the tone arm is, so let's get them out. I'm guessing this must have spent quite some time like a damp shed or a garage or something like that before it ended up at the car boot sale. It is not in the best of conditions. Right. Don't think we'll need to take the other ones. Oh, hang on, we'll have to leave that up so we can... Yeah, will that pull up? Yeah, that does. Right, okay, let's undo these two. I've never worked on one of these before, so I don't know how we actually get in it. I've never actually seen one quite like this before. I have other small picnic record players and things like that, even some that, at least one that would have originally been a battery one, although I did convert that to mains only. But I've never seen one quite like this before. Right, let's release that catch. There we go, we're in. Okay, let's disconnect. Right, yeah, let's disconnect that that power connector at the back there. You have to remember that that's 12 volts in, not 240 volts in. Let's just hope no one's ever made that mistake in the past and shoved 240 volts up the back of there. I have known of things like that have happened in the past, actually, with like TVs with 12 volt caravan connectors on and stuff like that, and we don't like it. Right, that's free. So we should be able to get this out of the... yeah, lovely. So we can get the case out of the way, and then we've just got this to... have to be careful of the towing arm there, because there's nothing to lock it down now, but let's turn it over and we can actually have a look at, oops, and take the turntable off, and we can actually have a look inside at what we've got. Okay, this is quite cool. We've got a broken off wire there. We've got a wire which is just twisted through there. It's not actually soldered. Obviously that's where the volume control has separated from the actual radio. Apart from that, we've got an amplifier section here. So 12 volts with a cutout so it cuts the batteries out when they're 12 volts. And it's a we've actually got a little label in here. It's a Victor, so it's not a it's not a HMV, it's a Victor, which I believe was HMV in the US. If any of my US viewers can they correct me if I'm wrong. But this is a Victor portable radio electrola. It's a TRE 8 according to the little label there. The rest of it's in Japanese, but it does say 9 volts DC, 800 milliwatts, and it would have used D cells, yeah. So what's that? 3. It would have used. It's quite a battery beast actually. It would have used 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 D cell batteries in this thing. We've got a Victor PD speaker. It's a 16 ohm speaker there. That looks in reasonable condition. It's got a lot of these electrolytic caps, which I know can cause issues in this old stuff. I think these Japanese ones are known for being a little bit on the iffy side. Yeah, that cartridge looks in very poor condition, so I don't think we're going to have the cartridge working. And the first thing we'll need to try and do is access where the volume control is broken off there and see what we can do about that, and then we'll try powering it back up again. We've got to figure out where the switch, where the switch was actually connected, because I can't really see where it's been connected. I can see where the pins there have broken off. Let me get you down so you can see what's actually happening here. So basically this is where the volume control would have been. It would have sat kind of in there like that. Now we've got one wire broken off there, and I can't see. We've got a wire there that's just been looped round. I'm guessing that must be it. So someone's obviously been in here at some point. I'm guessing that it's that and that. Positive, that's going to, is that ground? No, that's positive there. So yeah, what transistors have we got in these? Are these going to be PNP transistors then? I'm guessing this is all germanium. Is this all germanium with PNP transistors? I am guessing. And that's what I'm guessing anyway. You can't see anything now because I've zoomed out and forgotten. There we go. You can see a bit now. Right, so what I'm going to have to do, I wonder actually, let's get the bench supply. Now the bench supply is actually going to be a little bit weak for this because it's only a 500 milliamp bench supply. And this thing's talking about 800 milliamps, but that's for running the actual turntable. For what we're doing at the moment, just trying to get the radio working, that shouldn't matter quite so much. Oops, let me get you out a little bit more. I was messing about with my white balance before to see if I could get a better image out of this thing, but it is what it is, unfortunately. I will have to start saving up for a new camera. Right, so we have got about 9 volts there. Now that was in that way on the case, wasn't it? Which would mean that that side there is positive, so our yellow wire there is positive, and our green wire there should be negative. That's as if we're going off the 12 volt input here. It looks actually like it splits the voltage in when it's using batteries. So you've got 4.5 volt and 4.5 volt. So I don't know if there's something, some kind of center tap possibly on the amplifier if it's being used on batteries. Right, if I touch this to there, nothing. Try switching that and see if we get anything from the motor if I ground that out there. Nope. Right, what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have to pull this this board out and actually try and figure out what the hell's going on here. I have a feeling someone has already been in this thing and I'm not actually 100% sure what they've done. In fact, let's see what's that on. There's a switch on the front here, switch between phono and AM radio. Let's try putting that into the AM radio position. Very, very, very stiff. If I can get it to move again. That's going to, in fact, where's my switch cleaner? Let's give you a little just a quick blast. Look at that. Didn't take much, did it? Right, so that's moving a bit healthier now. Right, so we've got that over into the AM position. Then again, I doubt we're going to hear anything because we've got no nothing across the volume control at all. So right, yeah, let's just look at getting that pointer off. I'll switch that off for now. We'll look at getting that pointer off and see if we can pop the this one's going to be a tricky one. What you don't want to do is just lever it from one side like that because you risk actually damaging the dial pointer. Let me find... Where's that box? Aha! No, that's the wrong box. Where's the other box? Aha! And what we want is a reasonably thin wire. And we'll feed that underneath the there we go. So we've basically got that underneath the dial pointer, and we will basically, that's a pain. I wonder if, let me find some tape. I'm just going to tape that down so it's not keep flopping about while we're fiddling around. That's ideal. Got some masking tape here. Otherwise that tone arm potentially is going to get damaged, and it would be fairly nice to see if we can get this thing restored. Like I said, I've never seen one before. I think it's a fairly unusual set. Certainly haven't come across one on eBay anyway. But at least now I've got a model number, I can look it up online. I might even be able to find some service data for it, but to be honest, I very much doubt we'll need any. It's fairly simple. Right, and basically all we're doing is very gently just see if we can get the this one's going to be stubborn. It's come up a tiny little bit. I can tell it's definitely come up a tiny little bit because that's looser under there. But this one's going to be stubborn. Oops. Right. Yeah, this one's going to be a tricky one. Let's try that again. Unfortunately, I can't get anything thicker than that under there. There's only a slight gap to be able to get the wire in. Maybe we'll do. Ah, there we go. There we go. We're back under. It is very slowly coming up, but it's going to take. It's probably going to take me some time actually, just to gently keep rocking it up and down like that until it frees off. So I'll come back as soon as I've got that to release. So back in a sec. Right, just a quick update. I've been at it about 10 minutes now, and it is coming up. It's just taking an awful long time. As you can see, I've actually got a lot more freedom with the wire underneath the actual dial there. Like I said, it's come up about probably about a millimetre or 2 millimeters. So it's literally just a case, as you can see, I've got it gripped like that, straight underneath the dial, and I'm just gently rocking it backwards and forwards, and it is just very, very, very slowly, slowly easing up. So, like I said, I will be back as soon as I've managed to ease that up, but it may take me half an hour or so of doing this until that damn thing actually releases. So, as I said, back in a sec. Okay, how many of you were screaming at me then? Because I've only just realised. It's not a little dome on the top as a decorative piece like you find on most of ours. It's a captive screw which holds the dial on. It still actually does need a bit of persuasion, but I'm an idiot. I'd have been there a hell of a long time, and that is one reason why you never resort to screwdrivers and prizing, because sometimes it's going to be something like that you haven't spotted. Yeah. So now we know how the dial pointer comes off one of these little radiograms. So that's noted for the future. And my God, is it dirty in there? Ugh. Right. Let's get rid of that excess masking tape because we don't need that. That's holding nicely. Right, now we should be able to lift this board up and actually see what's been done there. So let's find a screwdriver. Can you see what I'm doing? Yes, I think you can. Okay, I think there's only one screw holding that in, so let's whip that screw out. No, you're not lift. Oh no, there's another screw there. Let's get that one out. Someone commented on my last video I did on that little Roberts, what we're calling it a resurrection chain. It's a Shango 066 term. Yes, it is. I do enjoy watching Shango's videos, and it's quite apt to mean what he's doing and kind of what I'm doing here. This is not restoration. Restoration is doing everything, changing all the components, refurbishing the case, doing it like you've seen me restore radios. That's restoration. What I did to that little Ever Ready, that's restoration. This is this at this point is resurrection. This is, can we get it to play? Is all the major parts functioning? Is it actually worthy of perhaps going on for restoration? That's really what we're doing with a resurrection. Right, now let's see if we can get this out. Oh yeah, no, they've got another screw there. I mean, many times when Shango's doing it, the stuff that he's doing is, it's beyond any hope of restoration. He's doing it just to see whether he can get the thing to work again. So when mostly the stuff that I resurrect is stuff that's possible that I'm going to actually go on and restore it. Right, let's get you out there and let's have a quick look at you. Well, it doesn't look too molested. We can see where the volume control's been whacked out there, so we've got that here. What is it? Get that off it so we can actually see what the part is. Okay, there we go. It's a fairly standard little volume control like you would find on like a little portable radio or something like that. What are we? I think that's 50. Yeah, 50k. So it's a little 50k switch potentiometer. It's almost exactly like you'd find on a 60s or 70s pocket transistor radio. In fact, that might, because although this probably the volume control might still work, although it is pretty mashed up in there. Let me go and have a look in my scrap pocket transistor radio stash and see if I've got anything that we could possibly replace that with. So back in a sec. Okay, let's have a look at this. Oh, already pillaged parts out of this. It's a rather interesting little radio. I rather like the tombstone design of it, but unfortunately it is in, it's not in restorable state. The cabinet's absolutely smashed to pieces on it. In fact, it's already donated its speaker to another radio. Let us see whether it may be able to donate its volume control to this one. What's holding that in there now? Oh. It's not quite the same type, but I have a feeling I could possibly get that to work. Wonder what value is it? Let's see if we can see what value it is. But that might do. So it's not exactly the same, but I think we could possibly get it to work. It's a little bit bigger actually. I wonder if it would fit. What's it like value wise? Oh yeah. So electrically it'd do. It's 50k ohm. It's whether we can actually physically get it to fit. Just bear with me a second, folks, and I'll just have a quick look, see if I can whip that out and see whether it is actually possible that we can mount it in there and actually get the volume control and everything to line up and work. So back in a sec. Right, okay, I'm back. I've not made that much progress, but all don't seem to be what they first appear here. For one thing, I've found that motor's not original. Someone's changed that out. It's actually got wires cut off at either side there, a blue one and a red one, which don't correspond to anything I can find actually on this chassis at all. So I'm wondering whether that motor's been changed out at some point. One thing is though, it seems to be it's completely dead. If I give it 9 volts on the bench supply, we should at least see some current draw off the supply. If I go right onto those connections there, so we've got a black wire on that side, we've got a red wire on this side. If I go on, oh, hang on. Oh, actually, we've just got a little bit of movement then. That's the first time there we are. That's actually the first time I've seen the motor be able to spin. Not very well. There we are. So that's the first sign of life I've actually got out of this, apart from just testing the speaker, and the speaker does work. I've had no sign of life out of the amplifier yet, or the radio. I've not messed with that volume control just yet, because I wanted to see if I could actually perhaps get the amplifier to power up and get a buzz out of the amplifier, but actually that's coming back to life now. It sounds horrible, but if I go over there, which should be the same, basically the same point. Oh, hang on a minute, then I'd have to shut the switch, won't I? No, we're still not getting that, but when I did connect it there, so that's, at least that's some progress. We've got the motor spinning. So the next thing I need to do is have a look at this amplifier and actually see if we can get the amplifier to work. I was getting power to it, but not getting any signs of life whatsoever out of it, and I'm basically suspecting these electrolytic capacitors. And what's that in there? There's a part in there that looks like it's blown its top. Just bear with me a second, folks. I will investigate a little bit further, and I will get right back to you. I have a horrible feeling this thing, someone actually literally did possibly try and plug mains up the back of it. I would have expected actually seeing some of these capacitors blown out if that was the case, but there's definitely something gone awry with it, and like I said, that motor has almost certainly been changed out. It's not a new motor because it's got those bits of cut off wire stuck to it. Anyway, back in a sec. Right, well, I've got the amp board loose. That was a bit of a pain because it's already held on with two little screws on binding posts, but they'd actually sealed the screws with like a paint, and it was not coming off. It took me ages to get them out. Anyway, I've got the board out. And, oh dear me. Right, yeah, this thing's this must have been shown the mains or something like that. We've got what I presume's a resistor here, which is just completely blown out, completely cremated. We've got another component here which is completely cremated. I think it may have been a yeah, it used to be like a little disc capacitor. There's another one on this side here. That's completely blown out. I'm guessing every single transistor in this thing is probably fried as well. Oh dear. Yeah, they don't like it up 'em, put it that way. Yeah, this might be beyond all hope of actually getting it to play again. It just depends on what's the state on that transformer there. Has it damaged, you know, cores in the transformer? It could have. This thing is a mess. This thing is a real mess. Right, what we're going to do. I'm guessing that's our signal, our input there. I know for a fact, I've just traced it out. That's our ground, that's our positive there. It is positive earth, this PMP transistors mostly. That's our, so those are our speaker connections. One side of the speaker is tied to positive ground, which is fairly normal. In fact, we can connect the amplifier up and just show how dead it is. If I connect onto there, we can go on to there for our ground, and this, you know, it is dead. But then again, I expect it to be dead when there's a resistor there with a big hole blown right through it. and a capacitor down there with which is completely and totally melted. One good thing though, and we now know it's a Victor portable radio electrola TRE8. I will go and have a quick look online and see if there's any chance of me actually finding some service data or a schematic on this, because with the damage it's got, without them, the chances of me actually getting this thing working are going to be minimal. So back in a sec. Right, okay, good news and bad news really. I've had a quick look online. This thing was actually made by JVC. It's made by the JVC Victor company of Japan, and I've actually found reference to an earlier model than this, the Victor Portal Radio Electrola TRE1. This is a TRE8. As far as I can tell, electrically wise, they seem to be either very, very similar or the same. Unfortunately, what I can't find is a schematic for it. All I found is a reference to it on radiomuseum.org, and I can't find any reference to this machine at all anywhere on the internet, which is quite amazing, because usually you'll find at least something, even if it's just like, you know, a passing reference or something. But no, I can't find a single actual reference to this machine in question. So basically we're in the dark a little bit. What I'm going to do, I think, we'll work on the amplifier first. We'll see if we can get the amplifier to work again. If we can get the amplifier to work again, we'll have a play with the radio. Apart from possibly, like I said, fried transistors and dried up electrolytics, the radio itself should be fairly easy to get it to play. The amplifier, however, if that coil there is bad, if the actual transformer inside is bad, that could be bad news. The transistors themselves aren't so much of a problem. We can always find something to replace them with. First thing I really need to do is see if I can figure out what value that resistor there, which cremated itself, is, and indeed that capacitor down there, which blew its top. Have a look, see if I can. Well, I'm pretty certain it's going to be the same as the one on that side there. It's just going to be a little bit of filtering or something like that. Date wise, I think this is early 1960s. The other player, like I said, the TRE1, it dates as 1959. I'd say this is pre-1965. Obviously it's after 1959. Anyway, I'm going to pull this amplifier chassis out, and we can have a proper look at that on the bench and see if we can get that working first. So back in a sec. Right, okay, I've actually pulled the amplifier completely out. I wanted to see if I could identify that burnt resistor there, and actually, believe it or not, if you look round it, you can actually make out there's two red stripes. So I'm guessing it's either going to be, it could be 22 ohm, it could be 220 ohm, it could be 22k, it could be 220k. Now I did measure it with a with my tester, and it measures about 400 ohms if I go across it. So believe it or not, it's not actually open circuit, he says now. There we go. Yeah, it's reading around about 400 ohms. Now, in general, when resistors smoke, from past experience, they tend to drift up in value rather than down in value. So I'm guessing it's probably a 220 ohm resistor that's actually fried there. So I mean, that wouldn't be any problem. We could easily replace that. Unfortunately, this is the bugger. I have just metered out the transformer there, and it's open circuit on the primary winding. I'm not sure about the secondaries yet. I've not actually, because there's a piece. In fact, let's just do that now quickly. Well, I've got you on camera. If we can get this piece of tape up so we can actually get to them. But unfortunately, that might be at least the end of this amplifier. I'm not saying it's going to be the end of this record player, because to be honest, it looks like this record player is actually fairly rare. If I can't find any reference to it on radiomuseum.org, it's not going to be a common player. I had a look over the web, and I can't find any reference to it at all. I can only find the reference to the earlier model, which I think was from either 58 or 59. I can't find any reference anywhere on the internet to this one. And generally speaking, you will find some reference on radiomuseum.org. You will usually find something. Right, let's see if we can just see where this secondary goes. So we know we've got an open circuit primary, so we know that the transformer's not going to be any good. There's one connection for it, that's the centre tap there, to that side, to that side. So that's okay. I think we've got one side of the secondary there's alright, but I can't find the other side of the secondary anywhere. Nope. Oh. Right, so oh no. Yeah, so it looks like we've got one side of the secondary's still there, the other side's open circuit, and the primary's open circuit on it. I'm guessing that what's happened with this thing is that it's had reverse voltage. I don't think someone's tried to shove mains up it, for the simple fact that there isn't enough damage. I wouldn't expect. I expect to see a lot more damage to other things. You know, the electrolytics being blown to kingdom come, things like that. I wouldn't expect just to see a smoke resistor. If it had been connected up to the mains, what I think's happened is someone's connected it up. Possibly, it might have been over voltage, but I think they connected it up backwards, and basically blew the thing up. They've obviously, like I said, they've smoked that resistor there. They've killed the interstage transformer there. It's probably fried the transistors as well. We've got a driver transistor there. We've got the output pair there. They're probably fried as well, to be fair. It also blew out that little, I'm not sure, I think it's some kind of capacitor. There's another one on that side of the transformer there. So, that's where we're at, unfortunately, with that. It's not looking very hopeful for that amplifier. Can I rebuild it? The question is, have I got a transformer that's going to be suitable for replacing that? That I'm not sure about. Transistors aren't a problem. We can find substitute transistors to put in there. That resistor, like I say, I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be 220 ohm. We can figure that out anyway. It's the same with that capacitor in there that's blown, that little disc capacitor. We can figure that out. It's probably the same value as the one on the other side, to be honest. We'd have to change the electrolytic capacitors because I'm sure they're probably bad anyway. But we'll put that to one side for now. there's no point really looking much further at that for the moment, because we're not going to get it working. What we can do though, we can at least see if the my masking tape's come unstuck. Let's see if I can just quickly stick that back. There we go. I don't want to see if I can. You'll see if I don't want to damage that. Yeah, we might be able to see if we can get the radio to play. Obviously, we'll have to use an external amplifier to hear what it's doing, but it would still be interesting to see whether there's any life at all in the actual radio. Again, if it's been reverse voltage, there's a good chance that the transistors on here have been blown. What have we got? 1, 2, 3. We've only got 3. There's probably a detector diode that might have been damaged as well, which presumes that there. What I will do, I will get a external amplifier that we can use, like an AF probe, and we'll connect this back up, and we'll just see if we can possibly get any signs of life out of the radio itself. So back in a sec. Right, okay, I've got my test speaker here, basically AF signal generator. Well, not AF signal generator, sorry, an AF probe. Basically, I picked this up at a car boot sale years ago. It's actually a British Telecom test speaker. I've modified it. Basically, I've put capacitors in line with the inputs, so they're isolated, and basically just use it as an AF probe for probing around on radios and stuff like this. I keep meaning to make an RF probe for it, so I can actually do the RF side of radios as well, but we'll get this connected up. Connect ground to positive, because this is a positive earth radio. We've got power going into the radio. We've got basically the switch is bypassed, and we can have a quick probe round. And see if we've got anything at all coming out of the radio. I'll flip but I'm pretty sure this is what's happened to it. This thing's been overvolted, had reverse polarity to it. Someone's connected the power up to it backwards, and they've probably blown every single transistor in the thing, as well as that transformer. There's no sign of life at all. And basically I'm probing on where that volume control had been broken off. So if that's, and obviously that's before the amplifier. So if the radio, there was any sign of life in the radio, we should get it. By probing on one of these pins. And we're getting nothing. What we can do, we can try working further up. I'll turn the volume up a little bit. We'll try working a bit further up the circuit, but there's the detector diode there. I'm pretty sure literally every single transistor in this thing is fried. nothing there. So I don't think a single transistor is actually running. See how much current we're pulling. We're hardly pulling any current at all. There's virtually nothing there, like a milliamp or something like that, 2 or 3 milliamps maybe. So yeah, it's not looking good for this set, unfortunately. Turn off there. I could try, just quickly try. Go. Just in case it didn't like the fact it was being grounded. No. This is just because we're not grounded anymore. No sign of actual life there at all. So yeah, unfortunately that's looks like what's happened to this thing is someone connected the power up to it the wrong way around. It might have even been like a 12-volt car battery or something like that, because something obviously made that that smoke. Like I said, that really did. That's gone. You know, that's really cremated. I don't know if you can make that out. Oops. That is a really cremated resistor. In fact, it's actually quite surprising that it actually reads as anything at all. But like I said, I'm pretty sure that's going to be a 220 ohm resistor. In fact, what I might do is I might just tape that a little label to the actual amplifier itself, and then at least I know what the part is. Anyway, I'm going to put this thing back together because I don't want to lose any of the parts of it, and then we'll have a quick chat and I'll tell you what I'm thinking about doing with it. So back in a sec. Right, okay, there we go, it's all back together. I've even gone to the point of actually I soldered the potentiometer for the volume control back in place, just so it's there for now, so it doesn't get lost. I also taped that 220 ohm resistor to the amplifier board and just wrote a little note on it saying what it was. Because I am going to revisit this. This is not the end for this player. It's just too nice a little thing. Unless someone just can tell me in the comments, yeah, the commoners muck, you know, the 10 a penny, you just haven't seen any of them. Because that's the thing, I certainly have never come across one quite like this before. I can't find any reference to it on the internet. Like I say, I can only find reference to the earlier model, which was a similar kind of thing to this, but in a wooden case. This obviously was a little smaller, a little bit neater. So what am I going to do? Well, we are going to try and actually restore this, but it's not going to be like, you know, it's not going to be a resurrection video like I was trying to do here. I just wanted to see. I was hoping it would be fairly easy just to get this thing to play, at least the AM radio side of it. I wasn't expecting to find something quite as blown up inside as this is. At least what we've found though, the amplifier is a bit of an issue. I should have something that we can put as a replacement transformer to try and rebuild that amplifier. If not, that's not the end of the world. I mean, it's not original, but we can just build an amplifier or find a substitute amplifier to go in there. That's not a big problem. The radio itself, it's a very simple, basic, AM only, medium wave only radio. I think it uses like 4 or 5 transistors. It's not a complex radio. I'm pretty certain we can get that working again. Even if those IF transformers are bad in it, they're just the same as in every other cheap Japanese like shirt pocket style radio. We could probably even, if we have to, swipe the IF transformers out of that. It's probably actually looking at it. We might even be able to nick some of the transistors. In fact, we probably will be able to. The interstage transformer won't be any good because it's much too small. But I'm pretty sure we might be able to pinch a couple of the transistors out of this. The IF cans, if we need them, we might be able to pinch some of the IF cans out of that. And I do have other similar kind of radios and, you know, scrap radio chassis we can pinch bits and bats out of, so we can get the radio side of it working. Like I said, if we can't get the amplifier working, we can make our own, or we can adapt something that I've got to fit in there. One of the good things is at least that the motor does run. The motor does actually spin for the turntable. The turntable's got issues. I've noticed it's actually got a spring missing from it. There should be a spring between that point there and the actual idler there to pull it into position, and that's completely missing. So I'll have to come up with a replacement spring for that. Obviously we've got the issue with the cartridge. I'm pretty certain that cartridge will be dead, but we can put something more modern in there probably. So that's going to be the basic plan for this. I'm going to do a full restoration on it and get it back up to 100%. But like I said, it will be done in quite a few parts, I should expect. Don't expect it all in one video, because there is a hell of a lot of work to do on this. I will start by trying to find a suitable transformer. I will start collecting all the transistors together that I'm going to need, because I'm pretty certain, I know we've not tested any yet, but by the fact that that transformer's fried, the damage that's been done to this thing, like I said, I'm pretty certain this thing's been connected with a reverse polarity. And I'm going to be pretty sure that most, if not all, of those transistors are going to be fried. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now. I know I'm leaving it on a little bit of a downer for this one, but you will definitely be seeing this again, and we will hopefully have this back up as a fully functional, fully working, like I said, portable radiogram. Very interesting with the name as well. Like I thought this thing was HMV, just seeing, you know, the nip of the dog and his Master's Voice logo. But it seems, like I said, this is actually JVC. This is, well, it's Victor Company, Victor Company of Japan, which had something to do, I think, with Victor, RCA Victor in the US. And the parent company is actually JVC, from what I can find out online on the earlier version of this, which I'm presuming is the same company. Like I said, the model number that started, I think it was at TRE 1, and this is a TRE 8. So I'm guessing, like I said, this is just a an evolution of the design. Unfortunately, and it's unusual for radiomuseum.org, there was no schematics available. There were just some pictures of one that was in someone's private collection. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now because I'm rambling now. So I hope you enjoyed this little video on this. Like I say, I'm sorry that we didn't actually get it up and running in this video, but there will be videos to come. So thanks for watching and goodbye.